And this is a microscope. This is the dust cover that's over it. It's improvised, admittedly, but it does work. You don't want dust to get into the parts that move, but you also don't want dust to get on the lenses. So we can remove the dust cover. Whenever you have to carry a microscope, you always carry the arm and have a hand under the base because you do not want to drop it. This is called the platform. This is where you're going to put your slide, and the slide goes under these little metal tongs. This is your objective lens, and the objective lens should always be on the smallest power to start with. And this, of course, is the eyepiece. And as you look through, the light gets focused, then it gets refocused through the objective lens, and you get to see something cool, hopefully. Now this one is battery operated, some you plug in, but it does have a light source, as you can see. And the light source shines up through the equipment. There's also a light source that shines down on it. Depending on what you're looking at, you may need to see the surface of it, or maybe it's something small enough and thin enough that light can pass through it. So let's see what it looks like if we actually have a specimen on there. Now this is a slide of salt crystals, and I can move this up close to the lens. I can try to focus it, but you're not going to see much because they are super tiny. Okay, here we have the specimen on the tray. On the platform, you notice I have it clamped, so that's not going to move around a whole lot. I'm going to move it a little bit to make sure the the little square there, the cover slip, which covers the salt crystals, is right above the light source. All right, we're going to start on our lowest power. This is 10. This is, I don't know if you can see it or not, but this says 10x. So this magnifies by 10. And this objective lens down here magnifies by 5, I believe, 4x. So that means when we look through, we're going to see the salt crystals at 40 times their normal size. And this is the tricky part that doesn't always work the way I want. Now I have the light shining from underneath, and we're not really getting anything showing up with the camera here. So let's try the light from above shining down onto the salt crystals. And if we try to focus, I'm still not seeing anything. Okay, so we're not really seeing anything, but that's because it's out of focus. So we're going to slowly, these are the focus. Some microscopes, nicer ones, might have a coarse adjustment that moves the platform a lot, and then a fine adjustment that moves the platform just a little bit at a time. So you can see that by turning it forwards, the platform goes down. Turning it back towards myself, the platform moves up. You always start with the platform all the way down. So it's pretty much always going to start out of focus. And then you slowly bring the platform up. Again, we're on the lowest magnification, and then you focus. Those are salt crystals. Okay, notice they're a cube shape. Now, we can then carefully rotate this to the next highest power, which is, oops, that is not it. And rotate it. And then this one is 10x. So that means we're going to multiply it by 100 times. And we're probably going to, we might have to focus a little bit. Oh, we don't this time. You can see, if we look around, you can see the crystals, and they're bigger. Notice, though, that we see less of the overall slide, but what we do see is much more detailed because we're using a higher magnification. All right, now we're going to move to the highest power. Now you'll notice here that with the highest power, it is almost touching the slide. So you always have to be careful when you're switching to the 40x. This one is 40x, so that means we're going to multiply by 400 times the normal magnification. And at this point, there's no real light getting into it because it's so close. So I'm going to switch to the light from underneath and see if we see anything. If you ever have to try to refocus at this level, you have to be really careful. All right, so that didn't work. I couldn't get anything to show up with the 40x just because it was too close. So I went back to the 10x. And just to show you, so here, if I can get my, it doesn't really look like, it's not this hard to see when you have your eyeball up to it, but with a cell phone camera, it's a little tricky because of the way the light refracts through the camera lens and everything. In fact, in the middle there, you can just see a reflection of the cell phone camera. But you can see that. But if I switch back to the light from above, okay, you can see them. All right, so that's a microscope. Remember, when you're done, you always turn off the power, even if it's a plug-in. You switch it back to the lowest power possible. You return the platform all the way back to the bottom. You're going to take the slide and put it back into the case that it came out of and close that up so they don't get broken. And then you're always going to put the cover, the dust cover back over it. Again, it is improvised, but it works. All right, have a great day.